All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus. Minnesota Vikings free agency day one is in the books. I waited late. I waited till the wee hours of the night to post this to see if the Vikings were going to make any late night signings. There has been a late flourish with teams signing some players. Javon Kinlan's now off the board. Damian Lewis is off the board. But the Minnesota Vikings have not made any more moves. So we're going to go ahead and put a grade on day one of the Vikings free agent moves. Before we do that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment as well. Also become a YouTube member. That is your way to get the signed John Rendell mini helmet will be given away here on St. Patty's Day. So let's jump right into it, and let's start with the Vikings. They brought back a couple of their own players. The first one, well, this wasn't the order, but they brought back David Questenberry, a favorite here of the show because he's damn good as a backup tackle. He played left, he played right, he played it very well. Only concern was that he was maybe going to retire because he's like 33 years old, but he's coming back for one more hurrah with the Minnesota Vikings. They signed him. He was released at the end of the season, end of the preseason last year. Vikings brought him in. Great move by Kwesi bringing him in then, and great move bringing him back. So I'm glad he wants to play another year because I think he's a damn quality backup and a good underrated signing by the Vikings. Also brought back Blake Brandel on a 4.75 million per year, 3-year contract, total 9.5 million. Actually, 4.75 million guaranteed. 3 years, 9.5 million. Everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh my God, this must mean Brian O'Neill's gone. He's going to be our backup. He's going to be our starting right tackle." No, the guards are making a lot of money, and I think this is a fair contract for Brandel or Brandel, I guess you say. He can play guard, he can play tackle, so it gives you versatility. He can also give you that tackle depth. So again, Vikings getting the backups they need on the O-line. They'll probably add another name in the draft, maybe another name in free agency down the road here, but they got their starters. They got their backups. The O-line's looking a little bit better than it did just this morning, bringing those two guys back. All right, let's go to the first big free agent signing the Vikings had. Jonathan Grenard, the edge rusher from the Houston Texans, coming off a huge season, 12.5 sacks last year. Vikings signed him to a 4-year deal worth $76 million. I don't have the numbers broken down, but this dude was going to get paid. He's an up-and-coming player. He's young. He's 26 years old. Still a lot of good football in his blood, and he's going from a great defensive mind in D'Amico Ryans to another great defensive mind in Brian Flores. Very excited to see how he's going to be used. He's good against the run. He can rush the passer. 12.5 sacks is just a start for Grenard. I think he's going to have a career year under Brian Flores. Very excited about this move. And again, I think this is a player they're getting who is starting to hit the incline. He's starting to shoot up. So great time to get him. Another signing the Vikings made, really solidifying the edge position, Andrew Van Ginkel. Again, the guy who can rush the passer. He had 6 sacks last year, 69 total tackles, good against the run, 8 tackles for a loss. So now you've knocked out your edges, right? You've knocked out a huge need. Daniel Hunter is gone. He hasn't signed yet, which is shocking to me. You got Grenard, you got Van Ginkel, you got Patrick Jones the second, and you got Andre Carter. And you're probably going to draft somebody and maybe add one more late edge guy in free agency. So I don't think the position's done, but I love that they knocked out a primary need day one of free agency. So that is beautiful when that happens. And the last signing, the Vikings go ahead and bring home our own Minnesota's own Blake Cashman, another guy who just excelled in with the Mika Ryans down there in Houston. The dude just blew up last year, 106 tackles, 2 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss. Excellent in pass coverage. He's going to take over the Jordan Hicks role. You got him. You got Ivan Pace. You got Josh Metellus floating around there. You got these 2 edge guys in Grenard and Van Ginkel. Vikings defense got a lot better today, and I expect a few more moves to be made to the side of the ball, but really the Vikings improved a very weak area of this team. And then you get the 2 backups on the O-line. So Kirk Cousins, I mean, he's not factoring into my grade here. Either way, I mean, you bring him back, you let him go. I think it was a right move either way, and the Vikings would decide to move on. That's fine. Right now, the moves they made, the holes they filled, the need they knocked out in edge gives me to give them an A. It's an A for me. It's an A for the day. Minnesota Vikings on their moves, day one free agency. No question about it. I love the players they brought in. I love the age they brought in. Contracts are fine. I'm not too upset about the contracts at all. So it was an A. Great job, Kwesi. Well, hopefully these guys all pan out and weren't just flash in the pans last year. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I love these moves by the Minnesota Vikings. Let me know your grade. Vikings free agency day one in the comments. Don't forget to become a member to get the Randall helmet. And don't forget to keep your skull in your hole.